Hi guys, welcome to Ignite India. This session is an exclusive expert session which is taken by Mr. Anand sir. He's a postgraduate from XLRI, and he's been training for management students, law students, and design students as well for the past 10-15 years, and he's a trainer in the aptitude. So make sure you enjoy the session, you ask your doubts, you unmute yourself, and please be mute during the session so that there's no disturbance which are caused, and please put your doubts in chat or you can ask her directly. So over to you, Anand sir.
Thanks, Ranjan. Good evening, guys. You are able to hear me?
Good evening,
Show
sir.
me.
Yes,
Good evening,
So,
sir.
Good evening, sir.
very good evening. So,
Good evening, sir.
Acha. So there are problems in technology. Okay, the problems are suddenly the system will go mute and you're unable to hear me. In such case, those who are videos are on, you can just start waving your hand. Since I have seen few names here, yes, there are few names which are to whom I did certain classes, but then there are few names for whom I'm doing the class for the first time, right? Now, before we begin the class today, because I was planning for a class on profit and loss, I think that's the same message that each one of you would have received till now. But I just want to also understand, have you guys done anything related to percentages?
Sir, we have done
Yes, sir.
percentage chapter.
Yeah.
And Nand, sir.
Okay. So if you have done percentages, good, profit and loss becomes easy. If you have not done percentages, then I would suggest that post this class, just drop a message to Rimjim so that Rimjim can arrange a separate class on percentages as such. Okay? So that we cover even that aspect. Now, for anyone who feels that the voice is breaking and coming to you, right? You're having a disturbance in the voice, you're having a trouble in hearing me, then switch off your video in case your video is on, so that the bandwidth consumption is lower. Okay, so you should be able to hear me properly in that case. अगर आपको voice का problem आ रहा है तो नहीं आ रहा है तो जैसे चल रहा है चलने दो, no problem. Right. So today's class, what I'm doing is I'm just trying to introduce you to profit and loss, because though profit and loss, when it comes to something like a NID and a NIFT kind of an examination, it's a very, very straightforward, clear-cut, basic question which follows certain formulas. But if you're planning to give exams beyond the NIFT and the NIDs, then profit and loss can, be a pain as such. Especially when you write an exams related to IITJs, because IITians, the kind of college they are, right? They don't care whether you are from a science background or a commerce background. They will test you the way they want to test you. So there, your efforts has to be much, much higher compared to any other examinations that you're following. So now, I hope all of you have a pen and a paper, right? So I'm going to quickly revise you on the percentages chart, right? The chart which said 1 represents 100%. Those who remember this, great. Those who do not remember this, write down. Those who do not know about this, again, write down. 1 represents 100%. So why do we represent 1 as 100%? Let's look into this class. Now this class contains 26 students, right? 39 students, wow. So this class contains 39 students. Now all of you, for me, is a class, right? So I do not look at you as 39 different entities. I look at you as one class, which means as one unit, you are a complete set of a class. So you complete yourself within this classroom. So you become 100% of my class. So that's why 1, which is used as 1 unit. So 1 unit can be anything. For example, let's say I want to construct an apartment containing 100 flats. I'm not constructing 100 flats. I'm constructing 1 apartment. So it becomes 1 unit for me. Let's assume I'm constructing 5 different apartments. But since all the 5 apartments come as 1 project, it still becomes 1 unit for me. Only when I construct all the 5 apartments, my project is completed, correct? Which means I have done 100% job is done, or my 100% of the job is completed. So whenever we consider any value, if it comes as one complete unit, that becomes 100% of my work, or 100%. So thus, 1 always represents 100%, right? What does 1 by 2 represent in that case? We know it represents 50%, right?
50%.
Right. What does 1 by 3 represent? 1 by 3 will represent 23.33%. 1 by 4 represents 25%.
25%.
Right. So ये पूरा लिखते जाओ फिर. 1 by 5, 20%. कहाँ तक लिखोगे? 1 by 12 तक लिखोगे, right? All of you will write till 1 by 12. So I'll also write along with you. 1 by 5, 20%. 1 by 6, 16.66%. So sometimes you can also find 1 by 6 in the question as 16.2 by 3. So remember, it is the same thing. 1 by 7, 14.28%. 1 by 8, 12.5%. 1 by 9, 11.11%. 1 by 10, 10%. 1 by 11, 9.09%. And 1 by 12, 8.33%. Okay. Once you finish writing this, show me and give me a thumbs up. If you finished writing this, anyone has any doubt, please ask. See, what basically you have done to convert it to a percentage, what you have done, you have taken this fraction and multiplied by 100. All you guys have to remember that, okay? Any value to convert to percentage, you multiply by 100. Just remember, keep that basic info in your mind, that if you have a value and you want to convert it to percentage, multiply by 100. As simple as that. Whatever the value is. Let's say 7 is the value. Want to convert to percentage? 7 into 100, 700%. Right? You have 1 by 3 as a value. To convert it to percentage, 1 by 3 into 100. So that's why 33.33%. Remembering them also becomes much easy. Look at 1 by 3. 1 by 3 contains only 3's. Don't have to struggle there. Right? So 1 by 3 contains only 3's. Now look at 1 by 6. 1 by 6 is actually half of 1 by 3. If I divide 33.33 by 2, I get 16.66. Okay. Now look at 1 by 7. Easiest thing to remember. What is 7? Double of 7? 14. What is double of 14? 28. So 1 by 7 is 14.28%. Right? So pretty straightforward values to remember. Okay. So look at 1 by 9 and 1 by 11. Do you realize that 1 by 9 uses only 11 and 1 by 11 uses only 9? So you can put them under one family. Right? So these things, informations are useful. Why are they useful? Especially in percentages or especially in profit loss. So let me say that I'm just throwing an example here. Let's say that I get a question which says that a shopkeeper, right? A shopkeeper got 14.28% profit. Okay. If a question is saying a shopkeeper got 14.28% profit. Now, what do you know about 14.28? You know that 14.28 means 1 by 7 of a value. Correct? Means that if it is 7 rupees for you, if you're costing 7 rupees for you, then your profit is 1 rupee. Because what is 1 by 7 of 7 rupees? Why did I take 1 by 7? Because of 14.28.
14.28 is 1 by 7.
Right? Yeah, so 1 by 7 I have taken that. So what is 1 by 7 of 7? 1 rupee. So for 7 rupees, you are getting a profit of how much? 1 rupee.
1 rupees.
So now tell me, if you are spending 7 rupees and if you are getting 1 rupee, right? How much did it cost you?
6 rupees.
6 rupees.
6 rupees.
Yeah. So
rupees.
you're getting you're spending 7 rupees, but you are getting it 1 rupee back to you. That is, your profit is 1 rupee. Means you have spent only 6 rupees. If you have spent 7 rupees and if you are getting 1 rupee, listen carefully. If you spent 7 rupees, okay, if you spent 7 rupees and if you are getting 1 rupee, how much did you get in total? Confused? You spent 7 rupees. You spent 7 rupees. That is how much money did go out of your pocket? 7 rupees. Right? 7 rupees went out of your pocket. But in return, you got a profit of 1 rupee. So how much should come back to you?
8. 8.
Yeah, so 7 goes out of your pocket, but you get, by the end, if you get 1 rupee addition, which means 8 rupees should come to you.
Yes, sir.
Right? So that's how the profit and loss works. So this table here, so don't worry about the concept of profit and loss.
Practically, how is it possible?
Sorry?
Practically, how is it possible?
Okay, practically, how is it possible? Let's say you have gone to a shop to buy lemon. Okay? You spent 7 rupees and you bought 7 lemons. Now let's assume that you go to your neighborhood, neighboring house and say that I have 7 lemons, buy this for 8 rupees. How much profit will you get?
1 rupee.
1 rupee.
Is that so? How much did you spend?
7 rupees.
So did you gain 1 rupee out of 7 rupees?
Yes, sir.
So did you gain 14.28%?
Yes, sir.
So that 14.28% is your profit. Got it?
Yes, sir.
So please understand this, guys. So on a very basic note, let's understand. If you want to buy any article, if you want to buy anything, do you have to take out money from your pocket?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
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 Think of any amount you take out from your pocket. Now that thing that you bought, let's assume tomorrow you sell it, you give it to someone. Will you get now money to your pocket?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes.
So now you
Yes,
have
sir.
to compare. Now you have to compare. If you got more money than how much you spent yesterday, if you got more money than how much you spent yesterday, it means that you got profit. Correct? So yesterday I spent 7 rupees. Today I got 8 rupees. So I got profit. But if you got lesser money than how much you spent, yesterday I spent 7 rupees, but today I got only 6 rupees, then it is a loss. Okay. So if you guys can think of an example that what are the things that if you buy and sell, you will definitely get a profit, and what are the things if you buy and sell, you will definitely get a loss? Can someone give me an example? Akanksha Singh?
Things that depreciate.
Right. Accounts people can answer this very, very well. Right. So for example, land. If I buy a land today and sell it tomorrow, I always end up getting profit. Because the land value will always increase, appreciate, unless and until I am a fool enough to sell it under a loss. But let's assume an electronic item, my mobile, right? Or a vehicle as such.
Vehicle.
Okay? Anything that depreciates will always give me a loss. So in your entrance examinations, profit and loss will always be in terms of percentage, and they will always follow, most of 99% of the questions will follow profit and loss in this particular chart. So your questions will carry profit and loss in this chart. So someone may say you got a profit of 12.5%. Some question will say you got a profit of 50%. Some question will say you got a profit of 25%. So most of the profit loss questions that you will come across will always be in this chart. So this chart is pretty important for us. If we can write down this 3-4 times, we will never forget this. ठीक है? Are we all clear? आगे बढ़े?
Clear. Yes.
चलो.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Now let's understand. Now when we go into profit and loss, we have to, so which we call as a P&L, right? We have to get informations or understand certain things. One, CP. CP is a terminology used for
Cost price.
cost price.
Cost price.
Okay. Now you got to understand what exactly is a cost price. Cost price is the
Which we are
price.
spending.
Sorry?
Which we are spending.
Yes. Price at which we buy or we spend. Cost price is a price at which we buy. Okay. It is different from something called as a manufacturing cost. For example, let's assume that I go to a shop to buy a pen. Let's assume that I go to a shop to buy a pen. If I pay 10 rupees, that is the cost price of the pen. Okay. Now the same pen, for example, a Kirana Dukan. Kirana Dukan is a small store next to your house, right? So Kirana Dukan may give this pen at 10 rupees. Whereas if I go to a hypermarket or a supermarket, I may get pen at 9 rupees. Right? So my price starts varying because it is the cost, and thus that becomes my cost price. Okay. What is manufacturing cost? Manufacturing cost is the cost that I have incurred to make this pen. Okay.
Yes.
So typically, if I have to make you understand about how cost varies, okay. So there is this company which makes the pen. So let's assume the company makes the pen for 2 rupees. Okay. The company gives this pen to a wholesaler. A wholesaler is person who will buy this pen in bulk and go to various parts of the country. Now, when the company sells this pen to a wholesaler, the company may sell this pen at 3 rupees. So what has happened is the company has got 1 rupee profit on the pen. Okay. Now, because the wholesaler has brought this pen from the company, this 3 rupees becomes the wholesaler's cost price, because this is the cost he has paid to buy the pen. All of you understood till here?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Shivangini, you understanding?
Yes, sir.
Oh, great. Now let's assume, now what happens from the wholesaler? The wholesaler then goes to what we call as a distributor. The distributor is a person who will buy from the wholesaler. So now how much did the wholesaler buy it for? 3 rupees. So the wholesaler, what he will do is he will take this pen and give it to the distributor at 5 rupees. Okay.
Yes,
So
sir.
what is 5 rupees? 5 rupees is actually the wholesaler's selling price, because he's selling this pen at 5. And what is 5 rupees for the distributor? 5 rupees for the distributor is his cost.
Cost price.
So you guys understand that cost price of one person is actually selling price of someone else.
Someone else.
Right.
Right?
Yes, sir.
So similarly, the vice versa. Selling price of someone else is actually cost price of one person. Okay. Now what does this distributor do? The distributor goes and sells it to a retailer. Okay. So let's say the distributor sells this to the retailer at 8 rupees. So 8 rupees becomes the selling price of the distributor, whereas 8 rupees becomes the cost price of the retailer. And now when you guys walk in to a retailer, ये इसका cost price है, 8 rupees is the cost price of the retailer. So retailer को भी तो profit चाहिए ना? So what will retailer do? He will sell to you at 10 rupees. Done. So this is your cost price. But what was your manufacturing price? Manufacturing price was 2 rupees because this was the price at which the product was manufactured. So remember this, that manufacturing price will never change. Manufacturing cost will never change because that was manufactured by only one company. Unka to cost utna hi tha. That is not going to change. What will change is cost price, and that's why do you get so much discount in Amazon or Flipkart? Because of the fact, or why do you get so much discount in supermarkets?
Because
there is no step
they
of
buy the
distributor and
products
retailer.
from wholesalers.
Right, because there are lots of products which I directly buy from the wholesaler. So when I directly buy from the wholesaler, what happens? The wholesaler has given me at 5 rupees. I need not have a profit of 5. I will keep a profit of 2 rupees and sell it to you at 7.
Yes, sir.
So तुमने बाजू वाले दुकान में 10 रुपए का एक चीज देखा, right? In the nearby shop you saw it for 10, and suddenly in Amazon you are seeing it 7. Where will you buy it from? You'll buy it from Amazon. Right? And now there are smaller companies which will directly take from the company and sell it in Amazon. So company cost at 2 rupees, in Amazon आपको 4 rupees में मिल जाएगा, खत्म कहानी. So the cost price varies, depends on where you buy and how many people do you avoid in between. So please understand, cost price can vary from one place to the other because of this channel that we go through. But what is it that will never vary is a manufacturing cost. Did you all understand about these two differences?
Yes.
There is another name for
Yes,
manufacturing cost, which is also called as production cost. Manufacturing cost also has a second name called as production cost, cost of producing a product. Okay, production cost is another name given for manufacturing cost. I hope we are all clear till here. So I am now proceeding further, and if you guys have not making notes, you can also take a screenshot of this. Okay, if you're on a phone, you can always take a screenshot of this. If you're on a laptop, then take your phone and take a pic of this. So I'm clearing this, proceeding. Right. So we had cost, we just understood what is cost price. Now there is another term, what is called as a selling price. What is SP? Selling price. Selling price is the price at which I sell an article. It is, say, remember this. In both the places I said, cost price is the price at which we buy an article. Selling price is the price at which we sell an article. So cost price and selling price is relatively dependent on us and not on anyone else. Okay. So every time you are dealing with a cost price, selling price, make yourself as a person who's buying and selling. Consider yourself to be the person buying and selling. You will always get these questions right. You'll never get them wrong. Okay. Now, if your selling price is greater than the cost price, then it means that you have got more money. Right? You bought an article for 8 rupees, you're selling it for 10 rupees. So your selling price is greater than your cost price. So you are getting 2 rupees more, which means you have always got a profit. And if your is lesser than cost price, or in other words, what we say, if the cost price is greater than the selling price, then what will you occur?
Loss.
You will always occur a loss. Okay. So loss or profit is always calculated. This is very important for us to remember. Is always calculated on cost price. loss or profit is always calculated on cost price. Never ever we calculate this on selling price. So which means if I say that okay, someone who's not mute yourself. You're talking to your neighbors and we can all hear you. Okay, so cost price, let's assume cost price is rupees 10 and profit is rupees 2. Then what can I say about the selling price? My selling price is rupees 12.
12.
Okay, so what is my profit percentage? How do I calculate profit percentage, guys? Profit percentage, I'm not using formulas here because I do not want your life to be dependent on formula. So how do you calculate profit percentage? Figure out how much profit you got.
2 by 10 into 100.
Divided by how much went out of your pocket. Remember this, as simple as that. Okay, how much more
Can you repeat?
got. So how do you calculate profit or a loss percentage is how much more you got out of how much went out of your pocket.
Sir, once again scroll down, sir. I can't see the down value properly.
Sorry?
Sir, can you please scroll down?
Scroll down. There is nothing called as scrolling down here. Is this fine?
Yeah, it's fine.
Surya, you can zoom in the phone. You can click and zoom it.
Oh,
Ma'am, I
you're
can't see the down value. That's why.
okay. So now you are able to see?
Yes, sir.
Ah, great. So, okay, then I'll avoid writing as down as possible. I'll try to use the upper space. So you basically see how much you have gained out of how much have you spent. And because you're dealing with percentage, you have to multiply this by 100, right? So that becomes 20%. Did you all understand this?
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yes, sir.
Now, assume that your cost price is 10 and now you have a loss of rupees 2. So what is the percentage? Your percentage is now loss percentage because it's a loss for you. And what is your loss percentage? How much did you lose? How much did you lose out of how much did you spend from your pocket? So how much money went out of your pocket? 10 rupees went out of your pocket. Again, because you're looking at percentage into 100. That again equals 20%. But it's a loss. Did we understand this, guys? Are we clear with this?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All of you, right?
Yes, sir.
Right.
sir.
So ignore remembering by hearting formulas. They are all confusing. They'll confuse a lot. Okay. So ignore or do not by heart any formulas. Just remember this. How much did you lose? How much did you gain? Out of how much went out of your pocket? That's all. Okay. And because it's a percentage, multiply by 100. Don't forget that part. Now, clearing this, going to the next. Now, the next thing that we need to remember in a profit and loss. Okay, so this is something that each one of you should now know. I am just dealing with basics here. We will again do profit and loss in the coming days. Today's session, it's only for 45 minutes because Rimjim said 7 o'clock there is another session, okay, that she is taking. So as soon as this session ends, we are done for the class. Then I will continue in the next class.
And
Okay?
after this, you can join till like 6:50 and 6:55.
अरे वो 10 मिनट का कोई फायदा नहीं होता है, ठीक है? 6:45 को बंद हो जाएगा और 6:50 को तुम वापस. Now there are two more concepts that we need to know. One is called as an MP. MP is nothing but
Price.
marked price. Okay? Or it also has another name called as, sorry for my writing, market price. Okay, ignore my T here in the end. It looks like an F, but it's also called the market price. What are the other names for MP? MP is also called as very famously, which each one of you know.
MRP. MRP. Maximum
MRP.
retail price.
Manufacturing price.
Right. No, not manufacturing price. Manufacturing price वो वाला था, बस खत्म वहाँ
Maximum
पे.
retail.
Right.
Maximum
MRP
retail.
is maximum retail
Right.
price.
Right.
What does this mean? It means this is the price beyond which no shop can sell an article. Okay, this is the price above which no shop can sell any article. It is illegal, but yes, in India, many people sell this at any price. But typically, legally speaking, it says that MRP is a price beyond which you cannot sell. You can actually sell at that price, or you can sell at a lower price than that.
So who decides the MRP?
Typically, MRP is decided by two things. One is company, which manufactures, and one is market purchase or market buying capacity.
What is market buying capacity?
Okay. And one more, there is another thing that is decided by the government depending on essential goods. Okay, like you saw this, you see this, that COVID medicines now, there is a cap in the pricing, right?
Yes.
Government decides the pricing. Why there is a cap? Because if there is not a cap, there will be a distortion in the entire economy. People may start charging 1 lakh rupee for one tablet because they know that people will spend to buy it.
Yes, sir.
Right? So there has to be a cap which the government decides. Now, what do you mean by the company and the market buying capacity? For example, let's say iPhone. How did iPhone decide that my Indian market price should be 70,000 or 80,000? Because iPhone didn't want, because the fact that iPhone didn't want to send it or sell that phone to everyone. They didn't want everyone to have that phone. They wanted only those people to have a phone, have an iPhone who wanted a status quo, right? Status in the society. So to match that status, they wanted to see who has the ability to pay. So let's say tomorrow you want to buy a dress or a cloth, right? And they would like to see, they would like to, let's say I am a company who's manufacturing a cloth for students or for people who are between 15 years to 18 years. Okay, we may have to rejoin. There's only 1 minute left. So 15 years to...
Just rejoin. Just click on the same link, guys, and rejoin.
Yeah, okay, we rejoin.